Icon Shalom, Shalom, first and foremost. I want to start off with giving the higher praise, honor, glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Yahweh Kadash. Okay, double honors to the elders, single honors to the apostles, teaching, preaching us this word of truth and with sincerity as always. And in this lesson here, I just want to get into, well, we'll see here, ISAIAH24, basically. Psalm 82, I'm just jump to this point here in verse 5 to 8. They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course. And that's what we're going to see and get into in this video here, in this lesson here. It's going into how the wicked is in power. You don't have a righteous system being set up here. And matter of fact, I'll even add this, because now that we see the echelon of wickedness, you can say, because wickedness has increased. It's quoted in the book of Ezra, when the angel Uriel tells Ezra, "Greater evils than these shall ye see come in the latter times, and the earth shall be weaker through the age." It's metaphorical and literal. It makes you realize that 2/3 just need to go. 2/3 just need to go. Everything that's outside the order needs to go. Starting with the Israelites. If you're a wicked ass Israelite, you just need to go. And you'll have to restart with a new mindset, a new spirit on the next side. I don't know about you brothers, or you angels, but for me, man, that's what I've noticed. Documenting and seeing the level of wickedness this earth is in right now. Basically, especially seeing the prideness of the 2/3, the wickedness of our own people. They just need to go. It needs to be a great restart with them, because it's going to take a miracle to change them. I can't change them. No man is going to be able to change them. That's what Esau's trying to do. On the left hand, we're also going to see some of that. These clips I have and want to play, and other things like that of that sort there, that we're going to play and see and watch in a minute. But here's the scripture. They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness, so they don't understand. Our people don't understand. They walk on in darkness. This is that darkness to them, though. To our people, though, unfortunately, that's also their light. That darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course. I have said ye are gods, all of you are children of the Most High, but ye shall die like man and fall like one of the princes. Arise, O God, and judge the earth, for thou shalt inherit all nations. The Lord is the one who's going to inherit all nations, not you wicked ass Amalekites ruling today. You're not the ones who's going to inherit all nations. This is as far as they're going to go. The level of power that they have right now, that might just be as far as they're able to get. The Lord is not going to allow them to get that far. It's just not going to happen. There's this fucking bird. It's the stupid noise in the back there. It's all Satan right there. This is Isaiah 24, man, verse, let's see, let's start at verse 3. The earth will be completely laid away. This is even the right version. They don't even give me the right version. This is Isaiah 24. I'm going to start at verse 4 here. The earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languisheth and fadeth away. The haughty people of the earth do languish. Yeah. 5. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenants. God. Therefore, they have to curse devour the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore, the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left. Yeah, and Jake doesn't understand that. As he's living it up here in this dark ass valley of the shadow of death, the valley of dry bones. And granted to them, that's their lot. That's their lot, so you can't really take it personal. It's what they were set up to be, how the Lord set their minds and programmed to be. But it doesn't matter either anyway. It's going to come with a cost on them. It's going to come with a cost on them. I'm just glad that the Lord's going to judge them. The Lord has a judgment for our wicked family members, our wicked as 2/3 of our people, you Israelites. Whether you believe we're the Israelites or not, whatever the fuck. You can't avoid the facts, and yeah, judgment's going to come for our people. On you spoiled ass, wicked ass, defiled ass Israelites. You defiled yourselves with the illusion your daddy Esau has given you, your red daddy, the devil has given you. We know who that devil is, and yeah. Isaiah 24, for the earth mourneth and fadeth away, the world languisheth and fadeth away. The haughty people of the earth do languish. Yeah, the haughty people of the earth do languish. 5 again. I think we're on 5. Because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenants. Therefore has the curse devoured the whole earth. The earth and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left. Yeah, let's start at verse 3 again. 4, I mean, the earth mourneth and fadeth away. Yeah, the earth is mourning and fading away. It's just these people don't understand that or see that, but that's really what it is. Once again, you got to be psychopathic and wicked to think that everything is good here. Nothing is good here. This is hell. This is literally hell. Our people don't know themselves. The true Israelites, who are the true descendants of Israel, are bugged out. They're lost. They're out of order. They're taking the Lord lightly. Their Father, who chose them to be a separate nation, lightly, while you other nations have beat us down and taken our goods and poisoning the earth, poisoning the children, poisoning the way that things are supposed to be. It's like Noah's flood all over again before the flood. Okay, that's really what it is. That's really what it is. So no, nothing is good here. So we gotta make that point right there. That point is set. That point is made. Anyway, moving on. That's why it says once again, and read the verse again. The earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languisheth and fadeth away. The haughty people of the earth do languish. That's why you people are called haughty right there. The Lord's calling you proud. You're gonna languish. It says the haughty people of the earth do languish. You're languishing. You just don't know it. But you are languishing. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, Okay, because they're not keeping the laws. Change the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. Yeah, change the ordinance. Going back to Daniel 7, the so-called white man who's the ruler of the supreme ruler right now of the earth. Starting with the top so-called white men, the fake Jews right now. Pedophiles calling themselves Jews. Raping your children, taking your children, kidnapping them. All right, so deal with that. Meditate on that. Because they have transgressed the laws, man shall not sleep with man, kids, woman shall not sleep with woman or beasts. Dead bodies, they sleep, they have a set rituals where they sleep with dead bodies as well. Then touch little kids as well. Drink blood. Eat their feces in certain rituals where they sell their soul to Satan. Bow allegiance to Hashatan. Because they have cut themselves as well. Certain rituals they cut themselves. Because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant, therefore has the curse devoured the earth. And that curse is all over the earth right now, true. You can say the chemtrails that they spray all the way down to the poisons they put on the foods, all the way down to the witchcraft they push and promote out here. And they that dwell therein are desolate. Yeah, that's why we're destroyed, whether you see it or not. We are destroyed. If you're a hoe that likes to sleep with many women, you're destroyed, because ultimately, when you go into how the Lord set you woman up to be, you're not set up to be happy in that kind of lifestyle. And maybe for people that can't see, that ain't illuminated, that don't have the true light, they ain't gonna be able to see that you ain't happy. The regular peon and fools will be deceived because they'll look at the money and think you're happy because you're smiling. But for someone that can actually see with the third eye, they're gonna look at someone like Jay-Z and Beyonce and know that they're not happy. And we come to find out, Jay-Z is really a woman and Beyonce is really a man. So those may not even be real people. It could just be hybrids at this point. A lot of those celebrities could just be clones at this point. So yeah, that might explain how Jay-Z has that much money, but he's supposedly an Israelite man, right? That's why it says the hardy people of the earth do languish the earth also as they follow them and the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. So let's go to the video here. So this video is going to explain the low vibration we're in right now, basically. It's low vibrational world right now we're in.
A single sentence can make your heart race, break it, or heal it. A tone of voice can calm a child, or trigger a trauma. A whisper can build trust. A shout can destroy it. We tend to think of spells as mystical nonsense, but in reality, a spell is just a precise combination of sound and meaning that changes behavior. And humans cast them every day. The brain is not a fortress, it's a sponge, constantly updating itself based on the words and frequencies it absorbs. Language isn't just communication, it's code. Tell a child they're worthless and you don't hurt their feelings. You alter the structure of their identity. Tell someone they're capable, strong, unstoppable, and suddenly their body shifts, their chemistry shifts, their decisions shift. The hidden side.
Yeah, and that's what they do. These at least they know about vibration and shit like that, and that's what they do to. It's the primary weapon they use to attack the Israelites, the children of Israel. I'll prove it by playing this other clip because once again, 2/3 of our people are simple. We grew up here and we were simple and vulnerable because it was meant to happen. It was meant to happen so we can see that our way was wrong and wake up to the laws and commandments of the Lord to teach us, to reteach us the lesson. But yeah, basically, this is what these devils have done. And if our people don't choose to wake up out of that, if they don't see they're wrong in their ways, then that's going to be on them. That's going to be on them. If they don't accept the name, it's something as simple as that. If they don't accept the name, if a man doesn't, it's something as simple as not accepting the name Yahweh Ba'ashem Messiah, he's going to be destroyed. If one of our women of our nation is something as simple as deciding not to be under a man, to cover herself up for her man. Something as simple as that. She's gonna be destroyed. She's gonna be left out of the salvation, the deliverance that's coming. That's gonna be enough to get them both destroyed. Both of those things for both of them. But yeah, going back to this devil, this is what this devil has been pushing here. Look, listen to this.
We're going to see nudity on primetime in hell. We're going to see the devil glorified on television. We're going to see nudity on primetime television. And it's the prophet Nahum's prophecy coming to pass. God said, "Behold, I'll pour abominable filth upon you." Now, that doesn't mean that God has a reservoir of smut and filth, but the devil does, and the Holy Spirit's been restraining it. But men are clamoring for nudity, streaking, filth, dirty television programming, and they're going to get it. Yeah, I'm not a prophecy expert. I'm not a prophet. But I got a historical view of how God deals with nations who reach what I call flashpoints. When they reach these certain points of violence, for example, when the nation became violent, God said, "I'll destroy it." And once again, all through the Old Testament, you eat violence. And every time Jerusalem, Israel, Babylon became violent, God destroyed it. In hell, we're going to see the devil glorified on television. We're going to see nudity on primetime television. And it's the prophet Nahum's prophecy coming to pass. God said, "Behold, I'll pour abominable filth upon you." Now, that doesn't mean that God has a reservoir of smut and filth, but the devil does, and the Holy Spirit's been restraining it. But men are clamoring for nudity, streaking, filth, dirty television programming, and they're going to get it. Yeah, I'm not a prophecy expert. I'm not a prophet. But I got a historical view of how God deals with nations who reach what I call flashpoints. When they reach these certain points of violence, for example, when the nation became violent, God said, "I'll destroy it." And once again, all through the Old Testament, you eat violence. And every time Jerusalem, Israel, Babylon became violent, God destroyed it. In hell, we're going to see the devil glorified on television. We're going to see nudity on primetime television. And it's the prophet Nahum's prophecy coming to pass. God said, "Behold, I'll pour abominable filth upon you." Now, that doesn't mean that God has a reservoir of smut and filth, but the devil does, and the Holy Spirit's been restraining it. But
So he said you're gonna see the devil glorified on television. Now it's with your phones, through your phones and stuff as well. Not just the television. Your phone is your tablet, your phones you have on you is your people's television nowadays. as well as your TV if you have one. If you don't watch anything on your TV, well, it's your YouTube, your phone, basically the same thing. But yeah, he said we're gonna see the devil glorified on television. All that Baphomet symbolism and indoctrinations they push out there through the TVs and stuff. Because you can watch a TV, a show, a movie, and 9 times out of 10 they're gonna show you what the enemy wants to show you, what your conquerors want to show you. He who conquers, it wins the war, it wins the battle, controls how history is told, as they say. We're still under our enemy's reign right now, power structure. So what is he gonna show us? Isn't gonna show us anything that is truly our culture, our heritage, our identity. And your identity is powerful. If you don't know your identity, then you can't really get anywhere. He also said, "You shall see." What else did he say?
We're going to see the devil glorified on television. We're going to see nudity on primetime television. And it's the
Nudity on primetime television, all our women being hoes, being whores. Once again, that's the vibration Esau has in our woman. The vibration Esau, and then he mentioned violence later on. As well, I'm gonna just play it back again here real quick.
The devil glorified on television. We're going to see nudity on primetime television. And it's the prophet Nahum's prophecy coming to pass. God said, "Behold, I'll pour abominable filth upon you." Now, that doesn't mean that God has a reservoir of smut and filth, but the devil does, and the Holy Spirit's been restraining it. But men are clamoring for nudity, streaking, filth, dirty television programming, and they're going to get it. Yes. I'm not a prophecy expert. I'm not a prophet. But I got a historical view of how God deals with nations who reach what I call flashpoints. When they reach these certain points of violence, for example, when the nation became violent, God said, "I'll destroy it." And once again, all through the Old Testament, you eat violence. And every time Jerusalem, Israel,
That's just the violence.
God destroyed it. Didn't hell?
God destroyed it because it was all violent. All these kingdoms were violent. It proceeds me to this particular precept here. Hosea, the 4th chapter. Yeah, and why are people violent? Because they got demons on them. Once again, the low vibrational demons and input that Satan's putting all inside of them. The Satan is the so-called white man as well, not just the spiritual demon, but it's also a literal man, his counterpart to the spiritual demon himself. So-called white man, starting with the Amalekites as well today. They're the ones in power. Esau still has a huge judgment he has upon his people, as his whole nation as a whole for what he's done. But Amalek right now, his son, he's the one that is in charge, really the one that's holding the power, the keys. Ironically, it's his son really that's in power though. But Esau still holds that top responsibility for what he's done to the Lord's inheritance. Yeah, he took a pride in that, enjoying those rewards and blessings that he got out for his lusts, his wicked lusts and desires of violence upon our people. They committed. This is why this is Hosea 4 in verse 2, by swearing and lying and killing and stealing. And so this is our people, and Esau, the Edomites and Amalekites and the other nations, starting with our people, and then Esau and Amalekites and the other nations. And they're committing adultery. They break out and blood touches blood, and that's what you have right now today being pushed. And every nation and every state they're casting witchcraft, doing spells on us, casting spells on us. That's why when we do videos, you got all of a sudden you have noise all outside, construction all going on now. All of a sudden outside, lower your vibration. Make you curse the God, make you curse the video you're making, curse you in the food you're making, curse you in what you're watching, curse in your job, what you got to do as you trying to make your daily bread. We're cursed here. We're cursed by the Lord. We're cursed by our enemies, cursed by other brothers, all these things, man. Committing adultery, they break out in blood touches blood, and blood touches blood, and that's why the Lord has to destroy this place. Literal blood touches blood. The sacrifices they make. The violence Jake does to his own people. Going in particularly coming to mind is the hood culture, the Israelite on Israelite violence, black on black, call it black on black violence, which we're not black or Mexican, but are Israelites. We all each go back to a certain tribe. Judah, Issachar, etc., etc. Verse 3, Hosea 4:3, though here, therefore shall the land mourn, and everyone that dwelleth therein shall languish. That's why a huge judgment's going to come. Huge judgment's going to come. I think of Ezekiel right now. That's coming to mind. Let me pull that up. Yeah, let's pull this up here. And that's why, brothers and sisters, the only thing that's going to get you saved out here is going to be Yahushua, His Spirit, His truth. I mean, you're still alive right now for a reason. I'm sure they've tried to kill you, sent agents to kill you multiple times, poison you, who knows. You're still alive for a reason. Yahushua has been with you this whole time. So this is Ezekiel 9 and verse 4. And the Lord said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. God, we do cry. Bodies that cry, we do cry. Bodies that die, we do die here. We die spiritually because our flesh is weak. We can die literally. Set upon the mark of the foreheads, though it says upon the man that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. Hey, so the Lord is gonna be saving those that are sighing, crying, complaining, not those that are at ease. Right? Another scripture coming to my mind right now is woe to them that are at ease. You brothers already know this scripture here. So we're doing our best we can do for the Lord. We may not fast all that often as we should. We may not read that much as we as we should, but we do what we can do. This is Amos 6 and verse 1. Woe to them that are at ease in Zion and trust in the mountain of Samaria. That's why we gotta have faith at the end of the day. Ultimately, this is Amos 6. This is verse. I'm sure this is the one. Amos 6 and 1. Woe to them that are at ease in Zion. Yeah, ease, meaning there's not a care in them. They're not worrying. They're not in a state of. This is just. I'm just here temporal. Basically, I'm just here temporal, man. I mean, I may. If brothers have a job, fortunate, blessed enough to have a job, where Jake ain't fucking with you that much, hey, keep that job, man. Keep going. Keep doing grinding. I'm looking for one of those myself, brothers. Pray for me on that one, but yeah, bro, like come back home, making you take yourself a shower, wash yourself, refresh yourself, unwind in your house, make yourself something to eat. We move ourselves and carry ourselves, enjoy what we can, but you still at the back in your mind, you back behind all that you're having in your mind. Man, I know I'm just here. I know I don't belong here. This ain't my home, like Yahweh said. Foxes have holes, birds have nests. The Son of Man have nowhere to lay his head. And that was literal at the time, what he was going through, but that's ultimately metaphorically. Brothers obviously gotta have homes. Basically a metaphor for saying basically we ain't gonna have rest here. Everywhere we go, we're gonna have enemies. The enemy is gonna hop on someone. The enemy is gonna be testing us. The enemy is gonna want to grind our gears, basically piss you off. Is basically what I'm saying, and try to distract you, push you out of the spirit. Find a next big best moment to strike you. This is a strategical striking. Amos 6:1. Woe to them that are at ease in Zion. But you have Israelites out here that ain't complaining. To a brother, to an Israelite man that's, or to just in general, one of the elect as well, not to single y'all out, but ultimately it's, y'all ain't the main heads going in. Just want to, like, the prime example for the top elect, like a prophet who represents the 1/3 as well, not to single y'all out, but we're gonna be in the spirit of like looking at a 2/3, like, what the fuck are you, bro? Like, you're fucking lost. You're fucking bugged the fuck out, bro. You're fucking low level and peasantry to compared to the mindset of one of the elect. Just to disgrace your dishonor, your dishonor to the tribe. What does the tribe do to one that dishonors it? You're looked at as weak. You get cast out. In some cases, stoned to death in front of the center of the whole congregation, burned alive, bro. Your house and shit, it's no use as well. It's destroyed, demolished, as well as your cattle. Even your cattle and children are gone with your ass. That's what the 2/3 are gonna be. And going back to that point I made earlier, that's what you do. Seeing all this evil now and experiencing all this evil. I don't think any of us experienced this much evil debauchery as we've had in the past lives. Literally. Going back to this quote again, I'm gonna quote it again. Uriel, the angel, told Ezra, "Greater evils than these shall you see in the later times they come, and the earth shall be weaker through age." So seeing all this evil now and especially experiencing it, even in these wicked mortal flesh, right? These little bodies we have, even in these little wicked mortal flesh, clay and ashes bodies we have here. It's enough. I don't know about you, brothers. Hopefully you're in the same mindset. But for me personally, it makes me see it like, yeah, you 2/3 are gonna have to go. There's no way of this being able to keep running in this flesh, in these weak bodies. If Yahweh comes, he's gonna have to come with give us new bodies. I see now it makes sense why now Yahweh Shai's now why the scriptures have been revealed to us, and the Lord's plan is to give us these new bodies, to make us perfect again, reformed again, back to Him. Have our people destroyed that they ain't gonna make it, and then come back in the same spirit, same body. And ultimately, you Edomites, Amalekites, destroyed, gone, just gone, straight up gone for all your. If you actually studied, if you actually seen what these devils have been doing, what they do, the rumors and the secrets and the New World Order per se shit. Secrets out to you. What they do, the things they do, the shit that they've done. We always mention the most basic things like changing the real money into fake money, paper money, or something that's not even real, just so they can hoard all the real wealth for themselves. And these laws that they pass is really just to give you an idea that you're all right for the time. But then they come out with, let's say, with a pandemic or another psyop operation, agenda, mission to check on their list to bring in closer what they really want to bring into to your face is ultimate full control, ultimate full draconian measurements in your face, man. Keep you in a box. Some dystopian movie type shit that you've seen. I know everybody at this point has seen a dystopian type of movie, like 1985. I think that's what it was called, by George Orwell. A Brave New World. That's another good one. Gattaca. That's another good one. Where basically it's kind of like they get with Gattaca. I'm not sure about the Brave New World. That's another good one though to check out. I think there's a show on it now. The new one recently that came out on it by Aldous Huxley wrote. By the way, who was an insider, a deep high level insider. By the way, that was written before George Orwell's 1985 or whatever it was called. Once again, definitely, George Orwell definitely did a good job in showing you the dystopianness these elites want to bring. But particularly with Brave New World and Gattaca, I definitely seen Gattaca, but I'm not sure about Brave New World. I haven't really seen that show or gotten too deep into that. I just heard about it and known about it here and there. Kind of looked like, just from seeing the preview, looked like Gattaca. But basically, those two movies show you like Esau's idea of what he wants to give to us. Basically, you feel like everything's good, everything's safe, but it's ultimately all bullshit. It's all satanic. It's all anti Mashiach, anti the Creator. What he originally made, going back to Isaiah 14. He wants to be like the Most High, control everything. Yeah, so that's basically, essentially, a psychopath. And then he's not willing to back down. Whatever he has to kill, whoever he has to kill to get out of his way, he's gonna do it. He's not gonna have any remorses for it either, just so he can accomplish to be like the Most High. That's basically a psychopath. And he worships Satan, touches kids. Once again, child pornography, they have heavy on their personnel, and they're heavy into that. They're heavy into that stuff, okay? Let's go play another clip here, give you an idea. So I don't think Jake is understanding how deep this really is.
On a high level in government who's opposed to the New World Order.
I distinguish between the deep state, which is the Vatican, the Rothschilds, and the Chabad Jews. And then
And there's the Instagram channel for that if you want to go check that.
Use the Freemasons and the Knights of Malta as fixers, and they use the City of London, Wall Street, central banks as managers. That's the deep state. Below the deep state is the shadow government, which is comprised of the politicians and senior bureaucrats, many of them murderous pedophiles that have been brought into the pedophilia system as a control blackmail element. Those are the shadow government people, but they're not the deep state. They're the best of the servant class. The different ways in which the deep state, and particularly the Zionist supporting foundation for the deep state, which has the Anti-Defamation League as its primary secret police, they censor, manipulate, and digitally assassinate people. And the reason they do this is because those people are getting close to the truth. Yeah. I distinguish between the deep state, which is the Vatican, the Rothschilds, and the Chabad Jews. And then they use the Freemasons and the Knights of Malta as fixers, and they use the City of London, Wall Street, central banks as managers. That's the deep state. Below the deep state is the shadow government, which is comprised of the Politicians and senior bureaucrats, many of them murderous pedophiles that have been brought into the pedophilia system as a control blackmail element, those are the shadow government people. But they're not the deep state. They're
As you mentioned, the pedophiles. It's a lot of, you're gonna hear a lot of that stuff here. This documentary, podcast, show here, whatever you want to call it. Because this is going into, once again, ISAIAH24, the earth mourning from fadeth away, the world languishes and fadeth away, and all the people of the earth do languish. The earth is defiled under the inhabitants thereof. Defiled, pedophile, defiled. Why is it defiled? Let's add the puzzles. Because the inhabitants thereof say, transgress the laws, change the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. And so essentially, by us breaking the law, statutes, commandments of the Lord, going back to Adam, which I really didn't want to make this point. Wanted to do it a different way, but it's your spirit. Going back to Adam, he wanted to see what evil was. We wanted to see, essentially, by that, doing that automatically. It doesn't matter how long it's been. To the Lord, it's nothing really, because either way. So that's why it feels long to us. But to the Lord, it's what He decides, what He wants, however long. You wanted to see how evil was, right? Yahweh Shai, you wanted to see how evil was. Going back to Adam, this is what happens essentially. And to us, to me, myself as well. I wanted to see how much evil was automatically by Adam, our father, going off, our creator going off. They automatically, we wanted to see how evil was. So this essentially is like the father looking down on us now, saying, how is it? What do you think about it? You want to change it now? All right. I'll think about it. All right. Essentially, a father teaching his son a lesson. His baby boy's son a lesson.
Politicians and senior bureaucrats, many of them murderous pedophiles that have been brought into the pedophilia system as a control blackmail element, those are the shadow government people. But they're not the deep state. They're the best of the servant class. The different ways in which the deep state, and particularly the Zionist supporting foundation for the deep state, which has the Anti-Defamation League as its primary secret police, they censor, manipulate, and digitally assassinate people. And the reason they do this is because those people are getting close to the truth.
Yeah, they have that much power. They cover the truth because, once again, showing they're in power. Just like when King David was in power. When King David was in power, he would have had it in his hand to kill anyone that was going against the laws, breaking the laws, because that would be our laws. This is our counterpart to Esau's laws. If you speak against what he doesn't like, his laws, which are basically Satan's laws, opposite of what the Lord's law is, he takes you out. In certain cases with certain individuals, he takes you out. He kills you. Esau they have both skull weapons, they have psychological weapons they can use, they have movements like gang stalking they can use. That's what they call community monitoring. That's what they call it. Mob techniques. Use your family members against you. Let's say you like to wear a blue shirt. They'll send a lot of people. When you go to the grocery store on a summer day, they'll send a lot of people in that store to have a blue shirt. So you just had the conversation about talking about cats and shit. You wanted to buy a new cat. This cat was very cute. You want to get a baby cat. And all of a sudden, in your job and your work there, talking on the radio, And then on your way to the job, they're talking about the same conversation you just had. In certain cases, individuals don't even notice it. They're very ignorant to it. Some individuals, they're very sensitive to it and see it, and it may block them from succeeding normally in a normal life. So certain weapons that this devil has, the ancient serpent, Satan's son here has, Esau has here.
Banks as managers. That's the deep state. Below the deep state is the shadow government, which is comprised of the politicians.
There's certain levels to this system, it's a satanic system.
And senior bureaucrats, many of them murderous pedophiles that have been brought into the pedophilia system as a control.
Many of them pedophiles.
Blackmail element. Those are the shadow government.
Because going into it, that's how they'll blackmail you. They gotta have a videotape of you doing something to blackmail you.
People. But they're not the deep state. They're the best of the servant class. The different ways in which the deep state, and particularly the Zionist supporting foundation for the deep state, which has the Anti-Defamation League as its primary secret police, they censor, manipulate, and digitally assassinate people. And the reason they do this is because those people are getting close to the truth. Yeah.
So basically broke it down there for you. Going into Job 9:24 once again. He covers the faces of the judges thereof. Daniel 9. He shall change the times and laws. This is Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covers the faces of the judges thereof, if not aware who he is. So basically, those people that didn't have the name but spoke out against him, they were basically like the judges. They might have not said the name or believed the name, Yahweh Bashmash. I never heard it. The Lord never gave it to him, but he did give them some truth to it and some type of the spirit in them. A little spark of the spirit in them to speak out against them. And they were essentially, that made them a judge. And they a lot of cases, they get killed. They get killed. That's the power that these devils have. Essentially, it shows that they hate the truth. They hate the truth. They basically, God is the truth. God is created the truth. The truth is reference to the Holy Spirit, which the Holy Spirit describes itself in the book of Sirach, particularly. Why they also removed the book of Sirach there. I think it's Wisdom of Solomon or Book of Sirach. Either one of those. Wisdom describes itself as the first thing ever made, that the Lord ever made. And part of the trait of wisdom is the truth. Wisdom is going to speak the truth. It's not going to deceive you, manipulate you. So Esau hates the Lord. Essentially, he hates the Lord. He wants to eliminate the truth. He doesn't like it. Hence why this is Romans 1:25, who changed the truth of God into a lie. That's what Esau has done. Changed the times and laws. I'm going to pull that up here. Daniel 7:25. And you shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time, times, and dividing of time. And what did Esau change? He changed the way that people worship their gods. Going as far as going into the heathens, he's changed the way that Jake is able to do all this lawlessness and not get punished for it. Because if we were set up, one of the elect were set up as the righteous kings. Think of King James. King James, perfect example. He didn't worship any Satan. He did not worship Baphomet. He would not have translated the Bible if he worshipped Baphomet and anybody like that. That was he was a black man, by the way, and yeah, he wasn't into the new system that's set up today. He wouldn't have been. That wouldn't have. That still would have been something very newly around by the time he was around. And yeah, but today there's no type of king or governor like that. Each one of them is in on the system. And to a man that's not a Satanist, that's the opposite of that. It's what you call it, a worshiper of the Lord and true Creator in heaven, the Almighty, Most High. That is something that's very low and debased in His eyes, like it would be in the Father's eyes. Us, what we want is the Davidic kingdom back and set up again, where the Israelites on top, starting with the house of Judah, that's the house of David, and his buddies to follow afterwards, Issachar and the rest of the tribes, and to bring back God's. It said, like we just read it there in Psalm. I'm pulling it up again. Basically, what it says, it said earlier in this verse. Psalm 82. This is what we want. Psalm 80. What a God, man of God wants. Which I don't like saying the word God once again, but Yahweh Shemashah. Basically, Psalm 82 and verse 8. Arise, O Yahweh Shemashah, judge the earth, for thou shalt inherit all nations. Yeah. And that when David was in power, he inherited all nations, because it didn't say that the Lord allowed David to defeat all his enemies round about him, the Moabites, the Edomites, the Hamites, the Ammonites, the Amalekites. Yeah. And essentially, that's what we want. Once again, the golden age of Israel to be restored again, where basically all you nations are going to worship our God. You're going to recognize our God as the one true God, just like Esau has his God set up. And everybody knows who Satan is and the Baphomet is. Well, in our kingdom, nobody knows who the true God is, the true Creator is. And we're basically a laughing stock. That's what we want, but reversed. Where Satan ain't the one true God. Our God is the one true God, who's recognized and accepted. And to be successful, you're going to have to worship that one true God. Strictly and intimately. So you either with it or it's coming though. It's coming. It's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's definitely going to come. This is Psalm 82, verse 1. God standeth in the congregation of the mighty. He judges among the gods. Oh, look, it says he judges among the gods. How long will you judge unjustly and accept the persons of the wicked? Still, yeah, and that's how David was really prophesying. This resonates with us more than King David at the time, if you can even argue. Because we're seeing the Lord accepting, it's like the Lord is accepting the wicked. He is allowing, because he's allowing their wickedness to continue. It makes you think, well, does the one true God care about his creation? Does he really exist then? Does he really care about his creation that he's made? It makes you think, you would think the Lord would care about his creation more than us. Why does he do something? Verse 4, deliver the poor and needy, rid them out of the hand of the wicked. Deliver the poor and needy. The poor and needy is the Israelites. rid them out of the hand of the wicked. And that's what we want right there. We're begging the Lord, rid us out of the hand of the wicked. Especially when you see a mocking the Lord's name, mocking his laws, his commandments. One of the commandments is you shall only worship him. But you can't take it personal, really, because once again, we went off, we sinned, we disobeyed the Lord, and ultimately, the laws were given to us. It was technically, speaking, wasn't given to the Edomites, at least not right now. Until we come back into power, then we're going to be able to judge Esau according to the law. We really can't judge Esau right now according to the law, because we're still technically under our punishment. The Lord used Esau to judge us because of our disobedience, to punish us. So when you think about it like that, you really can't even point the finger at Esau. You got to point your finger at yourself, because you had the laws. You were given the laws, not Esau, and you disobeyed his laws. But that's also why still makes us want the kingdom, though. Like, pray to the Lord and tell him to forgive us. Forgive us, Lord, our sins. Is why the Lord's prayer is, forgive us our debts. We forgive our debtors. That's not going into forgiving the other nations. It's going into forgiving your other brother. Your other brother who is not just any Israelite, though. Because not all, Paul says that not all Israelites are Israelites. He was going into forgiving your other brother that's in the truth with you. If a brother, if your brother has came off at you a certain way, a certain wrong way, you also eventually gotta let that go. Pray to the Lord about it. Maybe fast about it if you have to. Or just have faith in the Lord to fix it. Guide you right in the right path, and maybe you'll see you were just bugged out. Maybe you'll see you both were just bugged out in the wrong, and leave it behind you. Leave it in the past. But yeah, here's another clip I have here.
Beautiful. In Thailand. Been to Thailand before.
In this clip, you're gonna see some Edomites. These are Edomites just bragging about how they can kidnap any kids, and this is in a secret, very extravagant building they're in. They got money. They're about to get on vacation and with these other Freemasons and bragging about. And it just reminded me of how we would have, if we were in this position, how we would have our own stuff, vacation spots. For example, King James himself, he loved to hunt. We can't hunt on this fucking place. We don't have the time, the money to do this shit. These devils who touch kids, they have the time, the money to go to these places and do shit. Now, King James didn't touch kids. We don't touch kids. We didn't into pedophile shit. King David wasn't no pedophile. We ain't into that stuff. That's against the laws. But basically, the Lord says he's made these devils crooked. He didn't make them straight. And they have the money and time to do these things they're allowed to do. And this is all, it is bullshit, yeah.
Beautiful. What comes with the island? There's a small villa there. You could practically build what you want. There's buildings. Yeah, there's. Do the islands come with the children, or the children? This island does have a small school. There are children. Okay, so I didn't know if that was. What countries are near to abduct them from? Cambodia, Thailand, Laos, Vietnam, Philippines. The Philippines. Of course. The Filipinos, if they're not being a nurse, they're being your crew. Okay, so. True. Yeah. So.
What age ranges?
Below 10, I don't know. In Thailand.
I've been to Thailand before.
Have you?
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
What comes with the island?
There's a small villa there. You could practically go with the island.
There's buildings there.
Yeah, there's.
Do the islands come with the children, or are the children
This
born
island,
after?
this island does have a small school. There are children.
Okay, so I didn't know if that was
Yeah,
what countries are near to abduct them from?
Cambodia, Thailand, Laos, Vietnam,
Philippines?
The Philippines.
Of course.
The Filipinos, if they're not being a nurse, they're being your. So.
What age ranges?
Below 10, I don't know. In Thailand.
Yeah, and that was a real clip. That was they didn't know he had a camera in there. That was a real clip. Here's another clip.
What percentage of the U.S. military is Jewish? Does anyone know? Anyone?
And this man is basically, you can tell by what he's saying, he spoke out against these Jews. And this is what they can do to you, even though you may not be big, popular. You may not have millions of views, a big following. Because that nigga Charlie Kirk, by the way, that nigga wasn't no actual truth speaker. You don't have that many followers, and your whole assassination, all televised like that. And you're just speaking the truth. That hasn't happened to some American citizen that's actually speaking the truth, bro. That dude wasn't no actual truth speaker. That's a joke to me. A true speaker ain't gonna have his shit televised like that. And by the way, I'm thinking Charlie Kirk was actually probably a female, and his woman was actually a male. Come to find out, I think, and have some evidence on that, some videos. But yeah, that was definitely fake. Maduro, that was definitely also fake. He had like 50 different outfits and 50 different pictures just to transport one criminal all the way back to drug trafficker, or all the way back to America. No, I don't think so. You're gonna allow him to change 50 different times now. Especially how the American style does it. Think of Gaddafi and how they actually treat an actual outlaw. At that point, he really wasn't even that dignified to be an outlaw. He really was just someone that didn't fit in, who they laughed at because he didn't belong there. Anyone who's righteous is going to be set up as a governor, just as they do with celebrities. They're going to be set up as celebrity. You're not going to fall back. You're not going to fall out of line and still have die a dignified death with a dignified reputation behind your name. No, you're going to be killed. In his case, his humiliation was televised because he happened to be a big figure. But that's very rare. Okay, that's not. Yeah. Gotta be there on him. Lord willing, I replace him.
Percentage of the U.S. military is Jewish. Does anyone know? Anyone know? Less than 0.1%. Do you know how many Jews are billionaires in America? Anyone know? Over 40% of Americans billionaires are Jewish. It's 1% of the population. 0.1% serve in the very military of the wars they're starting. So is that because they're so smart that they don't even fight in the wars they start? Guys, there's thousands of people right now listening to this. Those people will tell people who tell people who tell people. The gig is up. And I'm not being self-destructive at all. This is the way to do it. I had my income destroyed by the Jews. PayPal, Google, Facebook, YouTube, Hollywood, media, All of them have attacked me and tried to ruin my ability to provide for my own family. All that did is get me closer to Christ, get me better at homesteading, make me value who I value, make me understand who I don't value. And it's 1% of the entire American population. And they're responsible for all the shit that's coming at me. PayPal bans me. I can't fucking get money to pay my mortgage. My mortgage, owned by Jews. Google, YouTube, Snapchat, Facebook, all of it. CAA, all my agents, my whole management team in Hollywood. They all ban me when I go against trans kids, all Jews. Oh, but that sounds anti-Semitic. Want to know what's more important to me than your stupid fucking bullshit word like anti-Semitic? Providing for my family. No one cares anymore. These warriors that come home from these foreign wars that they shouldn't have fought in, that we're fighting for Israel, that blow their fucking brains out in the parking lot of their VA because no one can figure out how to heal their moral injury in their mind? You think they give a shit about being called anti-Semitic on fucking Facebook? Fuck you. What percentage of the U.S. military is Jewish? Does anyone know? Anyone know? Less than 0.1%. Do you know how many Jews are billionaires in America? Anyone know? Over 40% of Americans billionaires are Jewish. It's 1% of the population. 0.1% serve in the very military of the wars they're starting. So is that because they're so smart that they don't even fight in the wars they start? Guys, there's thousands of people right now listening to this. Those people will tell people who tell people who tell people. The gig is up. And I'm not being self-destructive at all. This is the way to do it. I had my income destroyed by the Jews. PayPal, Google, Facebook, YouTube, Hollywood, media, all of them have attacked me and tried to ruin my ability to provide for my own family. All that did is get me closer to Christ, get me better at homesteading, make me value who I value, make me understand who I don't value. And it's 1% of the entire American population.
Yeah, he's mentioned how he got his. Basically, he's going into how exposing these devils, man. He just like a huge smackdown on a bombshell on this Edomite here, dude. I'm pretty sure he's an Edomite, but I could agree with him on that one there. Me personally, it's no coincidence when he mentioned that PayPal. I didn't really think about it like that, but earlier last year, I actually was using PayPal to make some little transactions to send the apostles some tithes. That's really what I was using that for. Come to find out, one day my PayPal has stopped working. Yeah, I wonder now why that has happened. Come to find out, that's interesting. The thing he brought up. So basically, but basically, he mentioned, I like how you mentioned it, Brian, because so I could relate, basically, because I could relate to what he's saying here. I'm currently in a situation where I'm relating to this man, and yeah, it just shows you, bro, you can't speak against even them Jews, man, so-called Jews. It's the point of the video, though. Or what's gonna happen? They're coming for you, man. They're gonna gaslight your image, your life. In certain cases, unfortunately, your life, your livelihood, your bread. The scriptures talk about how in Proverbs, that's similar to basically murdering a man. Like if you were to stop a man from his work, basically, essentially, you're murdering that man, basically.
And they're responsible for all the shit that's coming at me. PayPal bans me. I can't fucking get money to pay my mortgage. My mortgage, owned by Jews. Google, YouTube, Snapchat, Facebook, all of it. CAA, all my agents, my whole management team in Hollywood. They all ban me when I go against trans kids, all Jews. Oh, but that sounds anti-Semitic. Want to know what's more important to me than your stupid fucking bullshit word like anti-Semitic? Providing for my family. No one cares anymore. These warriors that come home from these foreign wars that they shouldn't have fought in, that we're fighting for Israel, that blow their fucking brains out in the park.
Well, you have to understand that nobody exists on a high level in government who's opposed to the New World Order. Nobody. Our government has literally been infiltrated. And there's a cancer within our government destroying it, eating it, nibbling away at it, hacking off its limbs.
And you said this started in 1945?
1945 was when the overt destruction began to occur, when Truman signed the UN Participation Act and the United Nations Treaty. It actually began long before that, when these secret societies began to infiltrate the government and appoint their members to important posts. Infiltration is easy. If one gets in, he can then appoint and hire others to replace people who are not members below him.
So now we've had over almost 50 years of this going on.
At least. I believe that it started back probably 1913, 1917, when the Federal Reserve Act was passed, when the Council on Foreign Relations became a reality in this country. What?
I think it started even sooner, like the founding of our nation. If you look back at all the founding fathers, a majority were Masons. George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, Paul Revere, John Hancock, James Moore, John Marshall. Like, has anyone seen these photos of George Washington? You think that secret societies don't already run the United States, that that's not what it was built on? Same year that America was founded, 1776. Same year the Illuminati was founded, 1776.
Yeah, and I was going into this clip of basically also how, I mean, you add the satanic worship behind the leaders. And once again, if you have power over the country, over the people, you're going to push what you push on them. In this case, it's the Satan. Now, to Esau, the Edomites, that's it may not affect them. It's not going to affect them. It may not affect them. For the majority of them, it's not going to affect them as a nation. I would argue and speculate just off the fact that they're Edomites, bro. They're Edomites. Now, in certain rare cases, you may have Edomites that wholeheartedly believe in God and may actually accept their black fellow friends and shit. Most of the time, those are Jake's Israelites, but and I can't see how this doesn't affect you Israelites, man. Now, ultimately, nature, you can't lie. Okay, there's a law in nature. It's gonna affect you Israelites because you are an Israelite. You are a child of God, chosen child of God, ultimately. I don't care if you're not meant to preach and prophesy on this side. By you automatically being a chosen child of God, what I mean by that is you may not be of the elect, but you're still chosen of the Lord to be of his inheritance. Now, by being his inheritance, he's going to judge you by disobeying his law, statutes, commandments automatically. So by default, it's going to come and affect you in some way, shape, or form. They call it a snowball effect, butterfly effect. There ain't no denying the laws of nature. It's just some of the Israelites were given the head start and responsibility to not be of those that's the remnant that's going to be destroyed. But you saw he mentioned it right there. Once again, going back to Isaiah 24, verse 5, the earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, messed the laws up, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. And by us automatically disobeying the laws, going against the laws, we fell into harsher judgments as well. Me, I can think of when we would eat pork as a kid, as a child. parents didn't have the laws and celebrating Christmas and Halloween and shit, and then those same nights or coming on a birthday or something, my father would get drunk and he would argue and fight with my mother. Okay, lots of anxiety as a child because of that, and failing in school. I personally believe I could have been more successful in my life if it wasn't for those things, but that was I look back at that as a possible judgment, as well as Satan getting the green light to because our family members could have been agents, spiritual agents as well, to destroy us, lose faith and lack judgment on the Father for that. Ultimately, it's all, you can look at it as a test from the Lord as well, and a punishment. I like to think of those two as the same thing as well. As a test is a punishment, but it's also a test from the Lord. Things of that sort. Not to get too much off topic, staying on the topic here. Exodus 20 verse 3 to, I'll just get verse 3 as the point. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee an engraven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God. ISAIAH24 is the power. I don't like to say the word God. It goes back to another deity. Gad, the word Gad or God. Visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, upon the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. Okay. Yeah, it says right there. Notice it said right there, punishing those that hate me. It's particular to our people. It doesn't matter if your lot is to not serve the Lord and be ignorant. The Lord's going to judge you if you're an Israelite. He's going to judge. Ultimately, Esau is also going to get judged. He's the heathen, so. And this is Deuteronomy 6. It's just the facts. That's what the Lord is saying. These are the words of the Lord, by the way. Deuteronomy 6:13. Thou shalt fear the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai, the Most High Power, and serve him, and shall swear by his name. You shall not go after other gods of the people which are round about you. For the Lord thy power is a jealous power, Yahweh, among you, lest the anger of Yahweh thy power, the Most High, be kindled against thee, and destroy thee from off the face of the earth. You shall not tempt the Lord Yahweh your power, as ye tempted him at Massah. You shall diligently keep the commandments, and Esau knows that we are the Israelites. He hid this from us. It's no coincidence. Proceeding back to the main scripture of the topic of this video, ISAIAH24, the earth is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinances, broken the everlasting covenant. That's what we did essentially. Even though Esau hid it from us, it was still as if we broke the commandments, because we broke them on purpose in the past life. So it's not, is it far from the Lord to say, all right, now I'm gonna make you come back in the next life, not knowing me at all. Once you're born, not knowing me at all, until you reach this certain age right here, until you're this old right here, and then you're gonna wake up. Then you're gonna wake up, and once you wake up, you're gonna see you fucked up. And while as you fucked up, while you didn't know me, I'm going to judge you for not. Even though back then you didn't know me, I'm still going to judge you because you didn't know me. Because in the past life you purposely knew and didn't want to know me. Is it that far from the Lord to feel that type of way, to want to proceed and execute those judgments on us? I like to think that's how the Lord also judged us. So anyway, going back to the main point of the topic. Oh yeah, that's another devil on the screen there, by the way. Abraham Rothschild there. Going back to Isaiah 24, right? Let's see it here. Another clip here I have. So that was Bill Cooper there going into I think he wrote that book, Behold a Pale Horse. He ended up bugging out, and I think he killed himself. He got his property got raided. He was bugging out at that point. And yeah, they got him. I believe personally they might have MK Ultra'd his ass. He still has certain weapons he can use in your home too. EMF wave weapons, voice to skull weapons, certain other technology where they can touch you. They can touch you through a virtual headset, if I'm not mistaken. Certain frequencies they can use on you. But yeah, going into George Washington, these Fifth Amendment dudes always like to bring up George Washington. They little knowing that he was a Freemason. At that point, all the Freemasons got infiltrated by the Illuminati. The Illuminati and the Freemasons at one point were two whole different organizations, going back to Adam Weishaupt, who was buddies with the one and only Mayor Amschel Rothschild. He got funded by Mayor Amschel Rothschild because Adam Weishaupt was a big Satanist himself, to the point he impressed Amschel Rothschild and got funded, and hence you had the Illuminati created 1776, around that same time. So this video here doesn't prove to you that these devils gotta go, then I don't know what to tell you, especially if you're not an insider already, or FBI agent, CIA agent listening right now. I future the spirit somebody is. Just through the spiritual prime source technology to call discernment. But yeah, this is
I would not advise you to have a look at it. She and her spokeswoman, they put a 5-year-old girl naked on a table, bind it, and then with a scalpel they start to remove the face. Oh my God. And you hear this child screaming, and they take off the face, and Hillary Clinton puts it on her face and goes to the child. And you see, the child, it's all flesh, and then the eyes, and this child sees her own face on the face of Clinton. I will never forget that image, and never the scream. That's how evil these people are. Ones out, and let the wrong ones in.
play it again there.
I would not advise you to have a look at it. She and her spokeswoman, they put a 5-year-old girl naked on a table, bind it, and then with a scalpel they start to remove the face. Oh my God. And you hear this child screaming, and they take off the face, and Hillary Clinton puts it on her face and goes to the child. And you see, the child...
That's some of the most demonic, fucking scary movie horror film shit I've ever seen. I wouldn't get scared of too much shit, but if I was to have to see that in person, that might just scare the shit out of me. Now, this is Ephesians 6, but that's not the point. I mean, the point is that's fucking sick, man, and yeah, man. Just pushing a bell there real quick. This is Ephesians 6. Something about bells too. That they can. Why do you think they removed the bells? Once again, wanting you to go into that low vibrational frequency. It's one reason why they removed bells from churches and stuff. It literally heals all your diseases. And just going into technology, energy, and shit like this, it all should be free. Now, the other day I was just meditating on these, because I've been recently trying to watch a lot of these types of clips, and I was just meditating about how great and awesome life would be, man, if energy was free. You actually were getting paid the right amount of money to enjoy your life. Maybe your dad wouldn't have had to have gotten drunk in the late nights, keeping you up, arguing with your mother, and your life with your father, because your parents would have been happier, and then you would grow up in the same generation, you would be happy. But that's something that these devils took away from you, these fake Jews took away from us, man. And that's, I was just meditating about how Nikola Tesla, all the free energy he made, these devils took that from us to have free energy. Drugs, prescriptions are having these foods that make us have these symptoms of autism and shit, to be weak, low vibrational, just things like that, which inspired, once again, ISAIAH24 to make this topic of this video. The earth is defiled, and indeed houses thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinances, broken the everlasting covenant, which leads me back to having some type of accountability. We broke these laws of the Lord. That's why we can't have these things, man. But it's awesome to think about it, fantasize about it. I love to fantasize about, reminisce on how life would have been if these things was free. This is Ephesians 6. They actually had, there's videos where they actually had flying cars that were floating without wheels, actually, and around it years, hundreds of years ago, maybe even earlier, a bit more than that, 120 years ago, 140 years ago, they already had scooters, electric scooters. This man, I forgot his name, he bought the patent for it, made a lot of those scooters for people. They had floating cars, stuff like that. This is Ephesians 6, going back to Hillary Clinton cutting a child's face off and putting it in her face. This is Ephesians. Sounds like something she would do when you look at her now. That possibly could be a man in a woman's book, trying to be a woman. This is Ephesians 6, verse. I think it's 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in the high places. Once again, leading back to the low vibration we're in.
I take this money. I got bills. I pay my car note. I give it to you. Then I gotta pay my rent. I give it right back to you. Don't that mean I'm working for free? I'm sorry. I just want to understand it, bro. I just want to understand this shit real quick, B. I want to understand it. Reflection. I want to understand this real quick. I own a business. I own my own salon. The building is owned by some realtor. I call him up. I pay the realtor. Who gave the realtor the money to get the complex that I'm going to own my business in? The bank. Right? But I got my own business. So I'm coming in here, but I pay my rent to the realtor. Who pays that? To the bank. Right? So wait a minute. I'm getting this money now, but it's still going to the fucking bank. And then now, because I own my own business, I'm the man, I got bigger bills. Guess what? Pay my employees or whatever, collect my stuff, and now I gotta pay my car note, cause now I gotta fly, pay my car note, that goes to the bank. Pay my apartment, my house, my mortgage, that goes to the bank. It's a rat wheel. You working for free. The people that print the money don't need money, homie. They need control, power. They need you to be doing what they need you to be doing, what they need you to be.
Proves they want control and power. It's not just a random law they have. Nowhere in history, yeah, you had fucking kings and rulers in every monarchy in history before America, pre-America. You had taxes and shit, and ultimately that was all wicked because, according, that's why I've proven the Lord's laws were the ultimate laws. There was actually, when you study the perfect structure, no one can take your land, no one can take your produce, your land and your property would actually, technically speaking, continue on in your generation from generation to generation if you used it the right way and never decided to sell it. And even then, in the year of Jubilee, you would have it returned back to you. The only tax you technically had, according to the Lord, would be the Levitical tax. I guess you could call it tax. Levitical offerings you would have to give, and then your sin offerings, you can say, the more you sinned, that technically speaking, the more you would be making the Lord rich. But at the same time, even in that, you would be gaining something from it, teaching you not to want to sin anymore, because eventually you'll run out of sheep. You can say inside joke. The Lord has a sense of humor. We appreciate the Lord's joke sense of humor.
They need your energy.
What color was kindergarten? What color was kindergarten?
Oh, here's another clip of this young Jew right here just going into how basically you can tell he's actually a man, but going into the low vibration once again. Going back to rhymes me as well as John D. Rockefeller. This brother's going to speak on a similar thing as well, going into the school system, the food system as well. That's made to lower your vibration as well. And then the fact that you got to go to work and all that stuff. A lot of people shouldn't be meant to go to work at a slave job to earn slave wages their whole life. That's all. That whole little robot type of lifestyle they want you to live in. You should be living out there in the free and in the wild out there with your beautiful man, if you're a man, your beautiful wife, and eating out the land, having your freedom, walking out there free and naked, enjoying your freedom, if you will. That's how it should be. But the way Esau has this system here, it's not like that. He has you living in a cubicle in a prison, and then he has you to continue in this endless circle of working for him. You're basically to make you soulless. You're a soulless being. You're a miserable creature. You're in a miserable existence. But see what Yahweh Shai is going to come to bring. That's why the scriptures say, I might as well pull it up. I come that they might have life and have it more abundantly. And who else would know how paradise is other than Adam himself, who is Yahweh Shai? Or we like to call him Adam 4.0. Just bear with me here. I come that they may have life. Perfect here. John 10:10 here. I'll actually try to start at verse 8. Just bear with me, I'll take your time here. John 10 and verse, I'll start at 7. Then said Yahushua unto them again, Verily, verily, I say unto you, I am the door of the sheep. 8. All that ever came before me are thieves and robbers, but the sheep did not hear them. 9. I am the door. By me, if any man enter in, he shall be saved, and shall go in and out, and find pasture. Verse 10. The thief cometh not, but for to steal, and to kill, and to destroy. That's Esau. Yahushua here is prophesying, I am come that they might have life, and that they might have it more abundantly. 11. I am the good shepherd giveth his life for the sheep, because it goes into being a friend. Your friend would want to give up his life and his comfortability just so you can enjoy your own life. If he has life, he's not going to enjoy life without his buddy, his best friend, to come in and enjoy that life alongside it with him. So he's going to go at lengths, even to the length of death, so you can come in with him to enjoy the paradise, paradisio, they call it in Greek. Garden means garden, paradise. Paradise, where the word paradise comes from, garden in Greek. It's means garden. You pronounce paradisio. And that's Yahushua coming for us enjoy this life. Let's go back to the clip here. Basically going into how these elites have set up Jake's mind. Once again, that's going in back into the satanic worship. Anything that's a low vibration is automatically death, and everything literal, physical manifests in the spiritual. So it just makes sense. When you're in a low vibration, you are, and essentially in a way tapping into the left hand, Luciferian left side energy. Lucifer, once again, does just mean light. So the left hand is Luciferian energy. You're tapping into there. And I believe it's no coincidence. That's why they want us to tap into low vibrational frequencies. Because it's easier to have you have suicidal thoughts, want to commit suicidal thoughts, commit crimes. Because Jake's in the hood, right? What makes Jake's want to enter that gang life, violent lifestyle, leads you to death or prison for the rest of your life. Or a shame if you end up getting out of it, leaves you with shame the rest of your life, to the point you got to make up for all that. Even more. Now you're gonna want to do more just to make up for all of those crimes and shameful acts you've done, regretful acts you've done. See, all that, what leads Jake to doing that is a low vibration, and being in the hoods, being in the condition, seeing the condition he's in, and Satan knows that. Spiritual demon Satan knows that. That's why he comes and attacks you when you're in your lowest. That's when you're more susceptible to wanting to worship false gods, commit crimes, which crime is really just sin. Not what Esau labels crimes. On this side, that's what it is as well, because Esau is the devil. We gotta abide by his rules. Be cordial out here. Yeah, I'll play the clip here.
Feel good about this? I feel guilty as hell. This is why I'm sharing it.
What color was kindergarten?
Kindergarten?
Yeah, you was in kindergarten or pre-K. What color was it?
Ooh.
It was every color.
Yeah, I was gonna say rainbow.
Okay, now when you went to first to second grade, what color was it?
I don't know.
It was bland.
Yeah.
It was that color.
Yeah, it was
like jail.
Exactly. Then when you went to high school, what color was it?
Like jail.
Yeah.
Okay, Okay, then when you went to work, what color was the wall?
Yeah.
It's waning you off the frequency. When you a kid, you vibrant, you running around, and then the first thing they do is they say, wane them off the frequency. Make the walls tan, make everything tan, make it boring. Sit down, don't move. They just get you right out of spirituality. And then the next time that you do get introduced to a colorful environment, guess where you at? You in a club. If the club was this color, nobody woke up. But since it's black and it's universal light, aka from red to purple, it feel like you in the universe. It feel like you.
Wow.
So this is why people like the club. It's called colorology. Even hunger. Hunger is triggered by the color red, yellow, and orange. What color is Wendy's?
Yeah.
What color is Chick-fil-A? McDonald's. Every highly successful fast food franchise, I guarantee you, if they not all red, orange, and yellow, they have either one of them colors at a high value.
Yeah.
So this is people who literally socially engineer the world. What color was kindergarten?
Kindergarten?
Yeah, you was in kindergarten or pre-K, what color was it? Ooh, it was every color.
Yeah, I was going to say rainbow.
Okay, now when you went to first and second grade, what color was it?
I don't know.
It was bland. Yeah. It was that color. Yeah, it was
like jail.
Exactly. Then when you went to high school, what color was it?
Like jail.
Yeah. Okay, then when you went to work, what color was the wall?
Yeah.
It's waning you off the frequency. When you a kid, you vibrant, you running around, and then the first thing they do is they say, wane them off the frequency. Make the walls tan, make everything tan, make it boring. Sit down, don't move. They just get you right out of spirituality. And then the next time that you do get introduced to a colorful environment, guess where you at? You in a club. If the club was this color, nobody woke up. But since it's black and it's universal light, aka from red to purple, it feel like you in the universe. It feel like you.
Wow.
So this is why people like the club. It's called colorology. Even hunger. Hunger is triggered by the color red, yellow, and orange. What color is Wendy's?
Yeah.
What color is Chick-fil-A? McDonald's.
Yeah.
Every highly successful fast food franchise, I guarantee you, if they not all red, orange, and yellow, they have either one of them colors at a high value.
Yeah.
So this is people who literally socially engineer the world.
Here's another clip. So that was that brother speaking on that. Here's this. They're going into the sicknesses, vaccines, and shit.
Going back to Vietnam, Vietnam doesn't have anything. Going back to Vietnam, Vietnam doesn't have anything. There's no such thing as autism in 1975, in year 2000, year 2001. There's no such thing. When Vietnam signed the WHO, when Vietnam signed into the International Monetary Fund, the banking system, Bill Gates and the Gates Foundation introduced the vaccination program into Vietnam. Now Vietnam has over a 300% rise in autism. Going back to Vietnam.
And autism has increased from 2000. It was a less percentages of kids with that. You go up to 2010s, it increased 3 out of 10 kids. To now, it's not even a rare thing anymore. Same thing with ADHD and things of that sort. Autism, ADHD, it's increased. If anything, it has increased the numbers and the number of the kids. Statistically, they've said, and I believe it.
Everybody, I feel sick. This is to make you. Reason why they use DNA from the cells of other humans and other animals in vaccines is to trigger an autoimmune reaction. Now I'm going to set this up for everybody. I feel sick. This is to make you aware. This is the autoimmune industry complex. Inject people without them asking or knowing DNA from other species and other humans into their body. You will wreck their immune system and create autoimmune diseases for life. Do you want to know how I know it?
No.
Real simply, have you ever heard of a person getting an organ transplant?
Sure.
Yes. Name an organ that they like to transplant. Kidneys. Kidneys are a good one. Yep. Kidneys, liver, hearts, right? You get all these, right? Lungs for pulmonary fibrosis. They have lots of organs they do transplants from. When a person you've ever known gets an organ transplant, that organ is coming from another human.
Yeah.
So they're finding someone who died or has sacrificed their own organ, and they're going to put that organ inside of your body. Let's give the kidney, for example. When they do that and they wake you up from the surgery, they then immediately prescribe to you 10 to 15 drugs for life that are called anti-rejection drugs. Okay? Your immune system's going to reject the organ and kill it. Why? Your immune system knows it ain't yours.
Foreign, yeah.
So it's going to go attack it. After it creates antibodies that totally destroy that organ, if you weren't on those drugs, that organ that you just received from somebody else has the DNA structure of kidneys. Guess what happens after it gets done attacking that kidney? It's going to be, those antibodies are floating around your body looking for what?
Kidneys?
Kidney cells, kidney tissue. They are going to then start attacking your kidneys, and you will develop autoimmunity of your kidneys, chronic kidney failure, and you will be on dialysis for life.
Jeez.
The body, we
What these devils do?
know, will reject and destroy any tissue that...
The scripture reads and says in the scriptures that... Oh, not that, bro. Oh my god. The retard is this. As it says in Job 13:4, but you are forgers of lies. It's talking about the elites and the system they built. Low vibrational system, ISAIAH24. Hence, the title of this lesson: you are all physicians of no value. Kind. Let's go back to what this man here is saying here.
Okay, Walmart is not what you think it is. Walmart is owned...
Autoimmunity of your kidneys, chronic kidney failure, and you will be on dialysis for life.
Jeez.
The body, we know, will reject and destroy any tissue that's foreign that isn't your DNA. This is a great design by God, by the way. Don't put other DNA in your body.
Right.
So now you put Cocker Spaniel DNA inside of a 6-month-old. You put hepatitis B inside of a 12-hour-old baby.
Yeah.
And you set them up for autoimmune diseases lifelong. This is why you get juvenile rheumatoid arthritis, juvenile diabetes, SIDS. Why did you get all these conditions of autism? This is
So many more diseases, malfunction.
The reason why they use DNA from the cells of other humans and other animals in vaccines is to trigger an autoimmune reaction. Now, I'm going to set this up for everybody.
I mean, I feel sick.
This is to make you aware. This is the autoimmune industry complex. Inject people without them asking or knowing DNA from other species and...
That's satanic and that's witchcraft. Low vibration once again. Physicians of no value, forgers of lies.
other humans into their body. You will wreck their immune system.
Prime example, when you get depression, they tell you, give you drugs, tell you gotta take antidepressants when you have herbs that are natural antidepressants. Like, forgetting some off the top of my head, but a lot of you brothers, you already know ashwagandha is one of them. Asian ashwagandha, American ashwagandha, or also referenced as American ginseng, same shit, different name. Asian ginseng. I would recommend one of them is give you more energy. It's the Asian one. The American ginseng, it's calm, relax you, take the stress off you, which causes depression. Give you better sleep, which causes depression. All you would need is better sleep. Get better sleep, exercise, eat healthy, more vitamins, switching it up every day. Different vitamins and minerals, nutrients, true foods, as organic as you can get them. But you're a farmer, your local farmer, or whatever. Look them up, Google them. Certain apps you can Google farmers, your local farmers. Google that, your local, you have local water sources you can go and get.
And create autoimmune diseases.
Prime example.
For life. Do you want to know how I know it?
No.
Real simply. Have you ever heard of a person getting an organ transplant?
Sure.
Yes.
Name an organ that they like to transplant.
Kidneys.
Kidneys are a good one. Yep. Kidneys, liver, hearts, right? You get all these, right? Lungs for pulmonary fibrosis. They have lots of organs they do transplants from. When a person you've ever known gets an organ transplant, that organ is coming from another human.
Yeah.
So they're finding someone who died or has sacrificed their own organ, and they're going to put that.
Just showing you as well that practice is all going off. Because your body ain't gonna recognize that heart. It's a foreign object inside your body, showing you that practice is all off, and the witchcraft ultimately it's making cuttings in your flesh as well.
That organ inside of your body. Let's give the kidney, for example. When they do that and they wake you up from the surgery, they then immediately prescribe to you 10 to 15 drugs for life that are called anti-rejection drugs. Okay? Your immune system's going to reject the organ and kill it. Why? Your immune system knows it ain't yours. Foreign, yeah. So it's going to go attack it. After it creates antibodies that totally destroy that organ, if you weren't on those drugs, that organ that you just received from somebody else has the DNA structure of kidneys. Guess what happens after it gets done attacking that kidney? It's going to be, those antibodies are floating around your body looking for what? Kidneys? Kidney cells, kidney tissue. They are going to then start attacking your kidneys, and you will develop autoimmunity of your kidneys, chronic kidney failure, and you will be on dialysis for life.
Jeez.
The body, we know, will reject and destroy any tissue that's foreign that isn't your DNA. This is a great design by God, by the way. Don't put other DNA in your body.
Right.
So now you put Cocker Spaniel DNA inside of a 6-month-old. You put hepatitis B inside of a 12-hour-old baby. Yeah. And you set them up for autoimmune diseases lifelong. This is why you get juvenile rheumatoid arthritis, juvenile diabetes, SIDS. Why did you get all these conditions of autism? This is so many more diseases malfunction.
So Con, here's another one. Got a couple more clips, by the way. I know this is kind of dragging on. So that's those chemtrails once again. A whole another video I can make on doing that. I've got more clips on those as well. Those cause you disease, so you can be eating healthy. You wonder why you're still having difficulty with your speech. A lack of good speech is stuttering is symptoms due to those toxins and the chemicals. Brothers shouldn't be stuttering and just pausing over sentences. You should be able to speak fluently and quickly and speak articulately. It's really how you think the Lord up there stutters and speaks. No, we're not made to speak like that, man. That's a disease. So even you can eat healthy, but those chemtrails, those are symptoms of that as well. Once again, forgers of lies, physicians of no value. As well as going into the curse as well, I gotta pull it up as well. I'll just pull it up here as well. Deuteronomy 28 verse ready. Deuteronomy 28 going into 18. Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body, the way our bodies is having those toxins in us. They kill basically white blood cells, which are designed to kill cancer, basically. White blood cells. So cursed shall be the fruit of thy body, the fruit of thy land, and the increase of thy kind. Yeah, those chemtrails also destroy the land, the soil, which curses the fruits, touches the fruits, then we eat them, and the flocks of thy sheep. 21, and the Lord shall make the pestilence, that's the pestilence basically, what they're spraying, the disease, cleave unto thee. You can't get rid of them. All of those are heavy metals as well, you can't get rid of them. Until you have consumed thee from off the land whither thou goest to possess. The Lord shall smite thee with a consumption and with a fever. Yeah, that's what the heavy metals do. And with an inflammation, and with an extreme burning, and with the sword, and with blasting, and with mildew, and they shall pursue thee until thou perish. And thy heaven that is over thy head shall be brass, that's those metals, and the earth that is under thee shall be iron, those metals. And the Lord shall make thy rain of thy land powder. Yeah, the rain that it rains is not real rain. So it's essentially just powder, just dust. When you go into the word dust, it essentially means nothing. It's a void, emptiness. It's what you're going to do with dust. It's not profitable for anything. From heaven shall it come down upon thee until thou be destroyed. And dust also goes into confusion, a disorder. A disorder, in this case, a disordering of the laws of nature. The way nature should be and produce for you to get back from it. Originally, how the Lord made the earth. You look at the fruits, you can have many seeds in one fruit. Plant them back on the ground and you still have income coming in, right? Goods coming in, food coming in, growing. You run out of water, dig a new well. Water is free, it comes from the earth. And these laws with Esau, you can't dig your own well. That'll be against the law. The state will come after you, find you, ticket you, even take you to court about that. Yeah, and right there's some heavy in the video as it's playing. Those are some heavy metals they're spraying right there. Those are some dense, very dense ones right there. So as the scriptures say, the power of the air.
Completely divide them from the best way to gain control of the most intelligent, powerful species on the.
Here's another clip. Just listen to this one. She's going into basically how the CIA, the ISAIAH, has psychologically tactics. These are psychological tactics ISAIAH has used on us. Pay attention to the words this woman's here speaking.
Planet would be to completely divide them from the love within themselves. As soon as they are old enough to begin creating an understanding of who they are, force them into a system that teaches them that it is wrong to be yourself if yourself. The best way to gain control of the most intelligent, powerful species on the planet would be to completely divide them from the love within themselves. As soon as they are old enough to begin creating an understanding of who they are, force them into a system that teaches them that it is wrong to be yourself if yourself is different from what is accepted as normal. Confuse them about their own biological makeup so that they think that permanently altering their body is the answer to happiness. Require their daily attendance at an institution that makes them focus only on the information that is provided. Make them attend that institution from age 5 until an adult and repeatedly test them on the information so that it becomes their truth. Give them an explanation to everything so that they never have a chance to make their own assumptions of the world. Scold them and humiliate them if they suggest an opinion that opposes that of their authorities. Keep reminding them of how cruel their ancestors were to each other in the past and broadcast how cruel they are to each other in the present. Only show them tragedies on the news so that they live in fear and think the worst of one another. Convince them that their species used to be that of an incognizant wild animal. Make them think that their very existence is so incredibly random that they lack purpose and struggle to make sense of a creator. Tell them that their kind is as smart as they've ever been so that they don't question the integrity of the system that they're in. Provide them idols with artificial beauty and use them as examples of what it is to look perfect so that they are never content with their own appearance and can't help but to compare themselves amongst each other. Create addictive digital platforms that rank them by numbers so that they base their self-worth off of the amount of followers that they have and are never satisfied. Build a society around them in which those who have money benefit and those who don't fail. Make money their main focus, but make it so difficult to accumulate that they remain in a place of constant struggle, forced to dedicate the majority of their time to the system that made it this way. Tax them in every way possible, but tell them that it's for their own benefit so that they don't think twice about paying it. Take so much of their time and energy throughout the week, but give them 2 days to themselves so that they feel a sense of reward and don't fight back. Promote the consumption of poison in every social setting so that even on those 2 days, they remain disconnected from themselves and each other. Pump their food with excess sugars and addictive chemicals, but make it cheap, advertised, and easily accessible so that they never stop consuming. When their food makes them ill, prescribe them medication that only matters. Best way to gain
Once again, all that puts you in a low vibration. An unhealthy diet of chemicals puts you in low vibration. Now, going back to Daniel 7, change times and laws. ISAIAH24, earth is polluted. That's why our Lord tells us as well. I'll get that later. This is Psalm 23, KJB, verse 3. He restores my soul. The Lord restores our soul, though, with His truth. He leads me in this path of righteousness for His name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for Thou art with me. Thy rod and Thy staff, they comfort to me. God. And once again, what should I say with this truth, this news, and His word should comfort you. This is our comforter. He said, I come that they might have life, and that they might have it more abundantly. And Paul says here in Ephesians 4:23-27, this was Yahushua speaking through Paul in his letters, Ephesians 4:23, be renewed in the spirit of your mind. 24, and that ye may put on the new man, which after God is created in righteousness and true holiness. 25, wherefore putting away lying, speak every man truth with his neighbor, for we are members one of another. Be ye angry and sin not, let not the sun go down upon your wrath. Neither to give place to the devil. Because once again, going back to Ephesians 6, we're wrestling spiritual wickedness in high places, very high places. I'll play this again once more.
Control of the most intelligent, powerful species on the planet. Best way to gain control of the most intelligent, powerful species on the planet would be to completely divide them from the love within themselves. As soon as they are old enough to begin creating an understanding of who they are, force them into a system that teaches them that it is wrong to be yourself if yourself is different from what is accepted as normal. Confuse them about their own biological makeup so that they think that permanently altering their body is the answer to happiness. Require their daily attendance at an institution that makes them focus only on the information that is provided. Make them attend that institution from age 5 until an adult and repeatedly test them on the information so that it becomes their truth. Give them an explanation to everything so that they never have a chance to make their own assumptions of the world. Scold them and humiliate them if they suggest an opinion that opposes that of their authorities. Keep reminding them of how cruel their ancestors were to each other in the past and broadcast how cruel they are to each other in the present. Only show them tragedies on the news so that they live in fear and think the worst of one another. Convince them that their species used to be that of an incognizant wild animal. Make them think that their very existence is so incredibly random that they lack purpose and struggle to make sense of a creator. Tell them that their kind is as smart as they've ever been so that they don't question the integrity of the system that they're in. Provide them idols with artificial beauty and use them as examples of what it is to look perfect so that they are never content with their own appearance and can't help but to compare themselves amongst each other. Create addictive digital platforms that rank them by numbers so that they base their self-worth off of the amount of followers that they have and are never satisfied. Build a society around them in which those who have money benefit and those who don't fail. Make money their main focus, but make it so difficult to accumulate that they remain in a place of constant struggle, forced to dedicate the majority of their time to the system that made it this way. Tax them in every way possible, but tell them that it's for their own benefit so that they don't think twice about paying it. Take so much of their time and energy throughout the week, but give them 2 days to themselves so that they feel a sense of reward and don't fight back. Promote the consumption of poison in every social setting so that even on those 2 days, they remain disconnected from themselves and each other. Pump their food with excess sugars and addictive chemicals, but make it cheap, advertised, and easily accessible so that they never stop consuming. When their food makes them ill, prescribe them medication that only matters. The best way to gain control of the most intelligent, powerful species on the planet would be to completely divide them from the love within themselves. As soon as they are old enough to begin creating an understanding.
So there it is. She was speaking facts. It was spirit speaking through this woman here. More truth than them other camps, IUIC and ISUPK. This woman here who doesn't even know the name. Speaking more facts, pouring out more facts than them, more limited waters than them. Look at that. So these are just a couple last clips I want to play. Just going into how the I don't take it with a grain of salt what I say, but through the depiction is going to show in this video how the Earth should look like, how it should have been. Now a couple of the things here in this clip goes off, but ultimately basically going into the world with free energy. This is the world Nikola Tesla was trying to give us right before he died. Yeah, when you go into Nikola Tesla, the dude died poor. Basically, he died poor, and all his blueprints and patents was robbed from him, taken from him by, matter of fact, it happened to be Trump's uncle. I forgot his name. But in one of his patents, they speculate that they were able to find time travel. So that's how smart this man Nikola Tesla was. I mean, at one point he was doing all right, but basically he was just showing you how the Lord had mercy on him. That's basically how he was still able to be old and have somewhere to live. But basically, he was ultimately died very poor. Very poor. He had a place to live due to the mercy these people gave him at this hotel, because he helped them when he was up at his prime, and so they returned the favor by helping him pay his rent there at this hotel the rest of his life. He was already old at that point. Basically, he died poor. He died poor, and just showing you he wasn't doing it for the money. He was doing it for just strictly to have people to have this gift of this energy the Lord put on earth to benefit off of it. And shout out to Nikola Tesla, man. He's definitely an Israelite, and his invention is going to carry on in the kingdom, man. I believe he's an Israelite. He's going to come back in the kingdom, seeing his dream come true ultimately. The clip I'm going to play here is playing here on the screen. I kind of don't want to play the audio because it has this song. There's a 30-second rule though, you can play it, so. So there you have the technology playing. It's robots flying. Okay. Earth is still green, looks green. This was that technology. Now this technology existed. Okay, so you gotta ask yourself. Now that's high vibrational thinking right there, what Nikola Tesla was on. But here's like another one here.
For centuries, the real purpose.
Going into the Eiffel Tower's true purpose.
The Eiffel Tower is something far beyond what you've been told. Most people believe it's nothing more than a symbol of Parisian culture or a product of the industrial era. The truth? The Eiffel Tower was designed as a massive antenna, an instrument for wireless electricity experiments, and its secrets could have revolutionized the world. The year was 1889, and the tower was unveiled at the Paris World's Fair, touted as a temporary exhibit. But here's where it gets strange. The true intent behind this engineering marvel was hidden in plain sight. Nikola Tesla visited Paris in the 1880s. During his stay, he met with Gustave Eiffel and shared his groundbreaking vision for a world powered by free, wireless energy. Tesla had already proven with his Wardenclyffe Tower that electricity could be transmitted wirelessly across vast distances. Eiffel, utterly fascinated by Kessler's revolutionary ideas, took these principles and incorporated them into the design of the Eiffel Tower. This was not just about aesthetics. This was about power, real power. During the tower's construction, strange phenomena were reported. Electromagnetic anomalies anomalies, unexplained lights, and strange sparks were seen surrounding the tower. Locals spoke of nighttime experiments, and some even claimed to have witnessed orbs of light dancing around the structure. Why hasn't this been exposed? This has been concealed for centuries. The real purpose of the Eiffel Tower is something far beyond what you've been told. Most people believe it's nothing more than a symbol of Parisian culture or a product of the industrial era. The truth? The Eiffel Tower was designed as a massive antenna, an instrument for wireless electricity experiments, and its secrets could have revolutionized the world. The year was 1889, and the tower was unveiled at the Paris World's Fair, touted as a temporary exhibit. But here's where it gets strange. The true intent behind this engineering marvel was hidden in plain sight. Nikola Tesla visited Paris in the 1880s. During his stay, he met with Gustave Eiffel and shared his groundbreaking vision for a world powered by free, wireless energy. Tesla had already proven with his Wardenclyffe Tower that electricity could be transmitted wirelessly across vast distances. Eiffel, utterly fascinated by Kessler's revolutionary ideas, took these principles and incorporated them into the design of the Eiffel Tower. This was not just about aesthetics, this was about power, real power. During the tower's construction, strange phenomena were reported. Electromagnetic anomalies, unexplained lights, and strange sparks were seen surrounding the tower. Locals spoke of nighttime experiments, and some even claimed to have witnessed orbs of light dancing around the structure. Why hasn't this been exposed?
So basically, essentially, these devils took that technology. Here's another clip giving you an idea of it.
1998 Ford Explorer Sports. Now, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Ford's Explorer line, but they have a reputation of being horrible gas guzzlers. And I can actually attest to that. I did the mileage test on my truck and found out that I was getting 13.6 miles per gallon highway, which as far as I'm concerned is absolutely unacceptable. Last year alone, I spent $11.4 bajillion on gasoline. Okay, I made that number up, but it sure felt like it. Well, I did something about it, and now I'm getting 56% better gas mileage, which translates to 56% savings in my pocket at the gas pump. How did I do it? My truck is now a water hybrid. Check this out. Well, technically, it's a hydrogen on-demand hybrid. What we have here is distilled...
Basically, he's running it off of without that all that gas you gotta pay for. It's free. So essentially, it would be better to have to not pay for all this shit. It just keeps you in debt. Going back to the last video, I think that dude's name was Nature Boy. Yeah, he was speaking on. He ended up, come to find out, has the reputation of being a bug out. Just technically speaking, he is. But he definitely is an Israelite, and he was in that video. He was definitely tapping into some high level frequency. So essentially, you pay tax on your house, car, everything you buy. That's all, and then it's not even all independable. You gotta depend upon them to make sure they keep the system running for you to keep those things.
Water with 1 teaspoon of baking soda used as a catalyst.
Even like just having a fireplace like they did in the past, it would be good, because then in case the energy ran out, technically energy would never really have to run out. It's all a myth. And technically, I personally believe they're already using the patents Nikola Tesla have to run the energy running right now. You look at those wires and they tell you that oil is running all this. Hence why we have fossil fuels and the oil is running out. But no, oil itself also never runs out. It's running off of something. So it's just to keep you in the circle. You're still thinking that you're free and you get 2 days off work. You think you're free, but you're literally paying for energy that's free, that's already proven by Nikola Tesla, by copper wires and shit like that, and coils, metals, magnets, and wind and air and oxygen. You should be having that for free. You shouldn't have to. Imagine if you didn't have to pay for that shit, bro. Imagine if you had your own fields and lands out there. You went outside and you had your acres of lands out there. You just had to work. That's freedom right there. That would be freedom. You would still be having to work, yeah, but then on top of that, you can have service. And you can end up being essentially independent, and then they can end up having their independency by eventually living off what you will give them if they wanted it. When we go back to the laws of the Lord, that's what it. You would have your slaves to end up essentially being able to go off and be free if they would have wanted to. And they wouldn't be your slaves forever. That was what the whole point of the year of Jubilee was.
We tickle that water with 12 volts of electricity, and what it does is it separates the hydrogen from the oxygen. That gas is then sent in.
Going back to the Lord's commandments, it was a perfect system. We couldn't keep it because we were. Eventually, you had kings, and they were greedy, and then they didn't want to keep it pure. They implemented it. Oh yeah, I think of also there was this one king named Zedekiah who he promised to free the slaves, but then later on he ended up saying, "Oh, never mind. Let's bring back the slaves."
The combustion chamber, where I was formerly getting a 30% burn. That's right, in all of your gas vehicles, you only get a 30% fuel burn, which translates to 70% of your fuel, of your gas, comes out of your tailpipe. Now, however, I'm getting a 100% burn in my combustion chamber, which means...
Now listen to this part, this is the best part here.
A few benefits. Number one, after a couple hours of running hydrogen, it had blown years of deposits out of my engine. My engine actually idles so quietly in city traffic I can't even hear it. My torque increased. My horsepower increased.
For time's sake, I'm not going to replay that one back. You can replay it back yourself. I might just do that with the next clips as well here. Here's another clip showing you this.
You want to know how deep I've gone down rabbit holes? I'm convinced that both of the world wars were really just to erase the old world. And that there was an entire narrative scripted around who the bad guys were, who the allies are, and it was really meant to just destroy all of these beautiful cities. They took out all of the bells. If you guys haven't looked into why there would be bells in public spaces and the healing properties and the harmonious properties that these churches and all the architecture was built in. Okay, it's sacred geometry, and it's not unrealistic that they started 2 world wars and put, at the time, our best men in every single country lined up across each other because they wanted to take out the most brave and quote-unquote prestigious men for every country, knowing that all of them would want to go to war. You want to know how
and it makes
deep I've gone down rabbit holes? I'm convinced that both of the world wars were really just to erase the old world. And that there was an entire narrative scripted around who the bad guys were, who the allies are, and it was really meant to just destroy all of these beautiful cities. They took out all of the bells.
Notice what he says about the bells.
If you guys haven't looked into why there would be bells in public spaces and the healing properties and the harmonious properties that these churches and all the architecture was built in. Okay, it's sacred geometry, and it's not unrealistic that they started 2 world wars and put, at the time, our best men in every single country lined up across each other because they wanted to take out the most brave and quote-unquote prestigious men for every country, knowing that all of them would want to go to war. You want...
They call this the lost Tritarian inventions now. I'm not sure how true that is, but I definitely I'm convinced that these technologies existed. They're going to show you here in this clip. Right there, they're showing you the robot arm, and this side is man who lost his arm. Before all this bionic arms, they're now barely just so-called supposedly finding out. Going back to what I said earlier in this video lesson, because the ones who are the victors rewrite their history. They rewrite the history and what they want history to say. Look at that. Look at what they're driving. That's a flying boat, literally a flying boat. The dude was just driving there. This video looks like it's from the 1910s or some shit. 1890s. Look at the wheels on that car, how it's switching. I can't even, I don't even know the word to explain that. That's something no cars today have.
In the annals of automotive history, a pivotal moment occurred in 1940, with the unveiling of a video that promised to revolutionize the industry. This remarkable footage showcased an ingenious method for changing tire treads from the outside, a feat previously unimaginable. The simplicity and effectiveness of this technique captured the imagination of technicians and drivers alike, offering the tantalizing prospect of swift and effortless tire maintenance. Yet, amidst the excitement surrounding this discovery, a shroud of mystery enveloped its fate. Despite its potential to reshape the landscape of tire manufacturing and enhance the driving experience,
Look at the tire.
the video was inexplicably concealed from public view. Rumors swirled, suggesting that the suppression of this innovation was in the annals of automotive history.
So this was in 1930s, they're saying. This is the channel of the handle there. That's something else, but it's still going into the similar thing. Same thing, I think. And this is my last clip I'm gonna play, or my last two clips here. So this one doesn't have sound, but look at that. You got like floating cars here, electric bikes. The Tartarian Empire had architecture so advanced, technology so precise, and cities so illuminated that even today we can't explain how they built them. Yeah, I personally believe they do know how they built them. It's just there, it's hidden. Just like I personally believe they know how the pyramids were built. It's just there, that's hidden as well. They speculate that the Egyptians actually knew already how to make a helicopter. It's just, and shit. There's one of hieroglyph for this. One of their guys they have up there is wearing a wristwatch. And then you have certain remains on satellite imagery of these ancient monuments, architecture, feuds you could call them, that look like modern day power stations and stuff. And giants, two giants, that's why they go all into that. As far as Tartarian, I'm not sure if that did exist. I don't know about all that. Don't know much into that to know that, but yeah, those was definitely high frequency vibrational technology they had. Like this right here, even something as this here. This river that hasn't stopped giving out water here.
Arkadaşlar hepinize merhaba. Şu kayayı görüyorsunuz değil mi? Şöyle bakın. Normal bir kaya. Ama ben biraz yaklaştığım için ucu benim.
Say those might be time portals. Yeah, I mean, I believe that. I mean, I was looking into it, certain clips, and brothers, before you question me on it, I mean, you have to see those clips. I'm convinced Esau actually has technology to time travel. I do believe they've had that technology back in the ancient world as well to time travel. I believe all this technology Esau has, it already existed. It was nothing new. It makes sense because Solomon said in Ecclesiastes, there's nothing new under the sun. I've seen clips of how these dragons exist. Do you know that dragons actually carry gold and they just go around searching for gold? Because in the spirit they know already. It's in their instinct. They already know that gold has a certain energy behind it. It helps them to fly. I personally believe that. I'm convinced of that. So, but it's all deep. And so with that, I mean, that's the point of the lesson. So this went on pretty long. I might just close out with that. Ecclesiastes 1 verse 11. There is no remembrance of former things, neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come with those that shall come after. Jumping down to verse 15. That which is crooked cannot be made straight, and that was the topic of this lesson. Esau, Isaiah 24. Us as well for going off. It's all defiled now. It's all this. It's weaker to rage, as the angel told Ezra. It shall be weaker to rage. You shall see more evils than those you've already seen. Therefore, put off the weak nature. That's why I always try to say He's going to come to bring us life that we may have it more abundantly. I got another scripture I'm looking for. Verse 9, Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. The thing that has been is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. Yep. No new thing under the sun. Those technologies and stuff. This devil ruining us, destroying us. Like no other time in history before, though. That's what's new, but. And technically speaking, there is new things, right? Yeah, it says in the scriptures, no eye has seen or ear has heard what the Lord is going to do when He does restore us and take this devil down, the so-called white men, the Edomites, the Amalekites, son of Amalek, the first of the nations, but his latter end shall be that he shall perish. Numbers 23 or 24, I think. So, so when I look at the dragon, I was looking into that. That thing is smart. That thing is a sophisticated and very intelligent being right there. I believe dragons really do exist. Literal dragons that breathe fire exist. And I ain't talking about just Leviathan. Leviathan is the top dragon. You could say top beast. But there's actual literal dragons of another species, though. I believe that they say dwell in these caves. These volcanoes, because they could breathe fire. You got two elements where you take one element and then another element, let's say it's mercury, and then this other element, and it suddenly just by contact turns to fire. So how is it far from you to say that dragons don't exist, that they can breathe fire, live in volcanoes? They said they found gold inside volcanoes. And then when you look at this guy was breaking it down through satellite images or using Google. You look in these sightings of these volcanoes, they look like this certain dragons, fossils or something embedded on the ground. So kind of ask. So leads me to Job 12 and 9. 7 to 9. So a dragon would be a high vibrational creature, which would make sense why we would see these rare animals that often. Because I believe those dragons really represent a high level of intelligence. Job 12 and verse 7. But ask now the beasts, and they shall teach thee, and the fowls of the air, and they shall tell thee. So gold is a high vibrational element, metal. It's known to power lots of energy. You take gold, that's why your phones have gold in them. Computers have some type of gold in them. Your body actually, when you die, it ends up composing some sort of gold on it. That's why they also found these giants. And then these giants and these rocks that end up leaving like big rocks. Hearts of these giants that they found in rocks, minerals type of things. And then can't explain it fully like how they could, but found huge deposits of gold in them. So your body does have some sort of type of gold inside of it. Why else would you think if the water as well inside of you, it would power your frequency up? But yeah, so those dragons know. And they shall tell thee. So with that, that's the point. Shalom and the bar to bar. Lord willing, this was edifying. Shalom.